Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And good evening, everyone. Live, I'm Rich Mancuso on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe for this Thursday edition, December 4th, 5th, 2025. Rich Mancuso with you in a moment. My esteemed colleague and my producer, co-host, Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, will join in on the conversation. An hour ahead, as always, of boxing and the pro wrestling later on. And we're going to have a full hour or more live this Friday night. We weren't on an original Thursday slot. Internet connection problems. As always, we thank you for joining us. And, of course, the social media handles for me, Rich Mancuso, X at Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. I'm on Instagram as well. And the boxing calendar scrolled at the bottom of your screen. But like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you like what we're doing here each and every week. Thank you for your continued support. So in the hour ahead, it is official. We'll talk about it right away with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, New York City, January 31st. We'll get into that. Terrence Crawford, no longer undisputed. A title was stripped from him. We'll get into that. The PBC on Prime this weekend. Pitbull, Cruz, Lamont, Roach, they are headlining. We'll analyze that entire card for you, me and Tom. WWE Survivor Series, the big question still. We know, most of you do. Let's confirm it. Who was that mystery man that interfered in the men's War Games match? Much more pro wrestling nostalgia, fact of the week. Possible guests coming on with us to be determined. We'll let you know as we go along. So let's get to it for this edition of Keep It in the Ring on this Friday night. Well, you know, this has been a year of boxing. No doubt about it. Yep, as I always say, boxing has hit the back pages and really nobody seems to be paying attention to it, especially if you're not a boxing enthusiast like me, Tom, and others are. However, it's been a great year for boxing. New champions, streaming networks, a lot of money. Fighters want to fight. Maybe they don't with all the money that's been thrown at them because of the Turk guy out in Saudi Arabia. You have Eddie Hearn at Matchroom, who continues to be the lead promoter, Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy, and we all know that Top Rank is still looking for its streaming networks, which kind of sets them back much. And, of course, who am I missing? The PBC. Yeah, they're on Amazon Prime, which you'll see this weekend. But again, they are not fully into it like they used to be when they had Showtime as their major network. But boxing, my friends, as I'll say before we begin, is strong to us because we are boxing people. We know what's going on. And as I tell you time and time again, as always, boxing has the controversy which sets back the sport a tremendous much of time. We see it constantly with bad decisions by the three blind mice judges at ringside, as they call them. We see it when fighters continually not make weight or they get injured and a main event is postponed or called off. That has to be changed. We're also looking at what the WBC is trying to implement, and that is to make their championship the main one, the WBC, among the many other alphabet soup organizations. Also advocating this week, as they did their convention in Thailand, to weigh in fighters same day as the fight. And that's what I've been advocating all along, the old school way. And the WBC making all types of rules, and we're going to talk about that, about the Terrence Crawford situation. We've seen the Turk guy, Dana White, and their new league venture with Zoomer trying to get one champion only for the sport, which might eventually break up the sanctioning organizations, alphabet soup, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, all of them. There's so many others that even a boxing enthusiast like me, Tom, and all you others out there, we are confused. The division rankings are a mess. We know that. We know that we can't identify who the champion is from each division. We know that. That's because of all the alphabet soup that revolves around it. But in the end, the sport is healthy. Healthy because there's money behind it. And despite reports, as I'll discuss in a moment, that the Turk guy is losing money, I can't believe that. boxing strong, my friends, and it will continue as we go into the new year in a few weeks in 2026. The thing we have to do as boxing people is to promote the image of the sport and what it does for the good. How fighters that are making money, how young fighting prospects come off the street, go into a gym, adopt a trainer as their second father, and instantly become famous. And we can name so many that have done that in the illustrious history of this great sport. However, all the negativity knocks this sport down. All the negativity does not make this sport belong where it once was. We do have major sports leagues, even the World Cup, and their draw announcements today have surpassed this great sport of boxing. My friends, there needs to be revision. It needs to be done. When it's going to be done, I don't know. You may not know. For the betterment of the sport, though, we as boxing people have to advocate for the betterment of it. And that's your voice that needs to be heard. Whether it's on a blog, social media, emails, whatever you do with social media or how you communicate, it must be known. Because in the end, you know what I'm talking about. It's you, the fans, that make this sport go. It's the fighters we have that make the sport go. But in the end, if you, the fans, do not speak your voice about how to better this sport, then we're going to stay where we are. And that leads us into our main topic to tonight, because we're going into a major fight the end of the new year, the end, January 31st. We talk about it. Everybody has, it's official now. January 31st, New York City, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. The mega fight that will be probably the top mega fight or one of the top ones in the new year. Been talked about for a long time. 2 years. Now they're finally going to go at it. Venue, we don't know. New York City, we do know. We know it's going to be on DAZN pay-per-view. You'll have to pay for that along with your DAZN subscription to see it. And of course, that's another issue altogether. Why should you, the fans, have to pay for the DAZN pay-per-view being a subscriber to the DAZN? You are paying the cost for that. That's another story altogether. We look at Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as a mega fight. And it's going to be Shakur going at 140 for the first time. New York City, most likely Madison Square Garden, will all become official before Wednesday or Wednesday afternoon in New York City, the press conference in New York, where these two megastars of the sport will get it going and start the promotion and the build-up towards January 31st. Fitting that it's in New York City. Shakur's from nearby Newark, New Jersey. Teofimo from Brooklyn, New York, out of Honduras. And that's where he wanted this fight from the beginning. There were rumors it was going to take place in Saudi Arabia. Perhaps that's held it off. But it came down to Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn wanting this fight and putting it on with an undercard to be announced as well. And we got it. So let me bring in my co-host, colleague, producer, good friend Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, and let's get in on this conversation about this fight. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Tommy D, how are you, my friend? Unmute yourself.
Wow, rookie mistake there. And
no, no, strike three. You've done that 3 times in the last month.
Happy Friday, Rich. How's everything? Hope all is well with you, and salute to everybody in the chat. We see you. I'll get your comments as we get to them. But,
yeah, we got a lot of them coming in, and we want everyone to comment as we go along this hour or more. And of course, subscribe to the channels, my channel and your channel. That would be much appreciated. So, Tom, we finally have it. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. We had Teofimo on, as you know, a month ago or so, and he talked it up. He says his goal here will be 12-round fight. He says his power will be too much. Do you agree with that?
If you could catch him and if you could hit him clean, I mean, you know, and Teo doesn't have like one punch knockout power, so you know he's got to hit him more than once clean in a combination of something and to at least hurt him. So, you know, I like the confidence though. I mean, I think he really does believe he can do that. I do think he sees things in Shakur that he could maybe capitalize, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because Shakur, if not, you know, anything, I think he's the best when it comes to range. He knows how to keep his range from fighters, you know, unless he wants to fight like he did in his last fight against Cepeda. which I don't think he's going to do that with Tio. So it's an interesting fight. It's a big fight, and the winner of this fight, is going to be made kind of as a star or whatever. I think Shakur, this will be another weight class he could gain as a world champion as well. So, I'm looking forward to it. The rumor is it's going to be in New York. They haven't announced the venue, and we're thinking it's going to be the Garden.
Yeah, I would think the dates are open. The dates are open for the Garden, but I don't know what the mystery is, why they haven't said Madison Square Garden as of yet. I've reached out to my source at the Garden, who's in on all this, who heads PR operation at the Garden, and he's not even getting back to me. So I don't know what the big hush is, why they haven't announced the venue. It's either going to be the Garden or Barclays Center. Where else could they do it?
I hope they don't do it in the Louis Armstrong building, because that's kind of an indoor-outdoor.
It'd be too cold there anyway. Yeah. That's one thing, and hard to get to. And no, I would think it's Madison Square Garden, the main arena. And again, we'll know for sure Tuesday or at the presser on Wednesday. We don't even know where the press conference is as of yet. Yeah,
they sent out the for us to apply. And they said, we'll let you know where the press conference. I'm assuming it might be the Palladium. I mean, that's what they usually do.
Yeah. Or the Garden itself, if they do the fight at the Garden. That's where they're going to do it. That's what we're trying to find out. But let's get back to this fight, because it's very intriguing. We know that. And it's a fight that fans have been looking forward to seeing, and what's finally going to happen. And there you go, Teofimo Lopez at this weight seems to be handling it okay. And Shakur as well. He can handle 135, 140. What I like about this fight is the dynamic of the two of them, the dynamics of both of them. They both can punch very well. And as I always say all the time with a fighter, the footwork is so important. And there I say it's even with the two of them. And as we go along on this program in the weeks to come leading up to the fight, Tom, we'll analyze it more. My only question with Teofimo, and I'm being objective here, is can he do the job? Can he do it? Can he finish him off? Will this go 12 rounds, or will this go a knockout route? That's to be determined, because I like the fact that, to me, they're almost evenly matched. That's what I like about it, too.
I mean, they both got experience. They both, I think they're both similar in age as well. But this is what makes boxing so great. We may analyze this and we may see that one guy is better than the other by a long shot, and say that the other guy's got a puncher's chance or whatever. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. I think Teofimo is very good athletically. He's always in shape, and I think he's got more than average feet. I mean, I think his footwork is pretty decent, better than what people give him credit for. But Shakur is a masterclass boxer, in my opinion. And he's so good at being, keeping the distance and being rangy when he wants to be. And I think he has great upper body movement. When he's in the pocket, he moves, and, similar to Canelo, but a little bit better. Like, it's an upper body movement. Like, he's very good defensively. The knock on Shakur is that he doesn't really have the power. He doesn't really have the punching power. But maybe moving up in weight, maybe he could, fill out the frame a little bit more, and maybe step on his punches more. So
that's what Teofimo said. That's what Teofimo said. You're going to feel my power. Mm-hmm. And will Shakur be able to withstand that power? We do know that Teofimo does have power. We know that.
He does have power, but he doesn't have the one punch knockout power. And I think he can't rely on that, because, I don't know when's the last time he had a really good knockdown. Probably the Kambosos fight when he knocked him down late, but he's not. I don't think he's knocking anybody out with one punch.
He didn't do it against Barboza Jr. in New York City in May, that fiasco in Times Square. It turned out to be the highlight fight of that whole disaster of an evening in New York, but he didn't do it there. And you bring up a very valid point about that, Tom.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you never know. I mean, Shakur hasn't really got hit solid. He did get hit that one shot he took early in the fight against Cepeda, but after that, nothing really happened. So, I mean, anything can happen, and you never know.
All right, so we'll go into it more in depth in the weeks to come, and I'm not even going to ask you who you think is going to win this, because if you ask me, I can't tell you right now. So, and again, I'm being objective. As close as I become with Teofimo, I'm being objective about that. I'm not going to give it to you.
I think the odds are going to favor Shakur, and I think Shakur he's just a better boxer.
Let's read that comment that just came in, but my vision tonight, I can't read it.
He says, "I'm not a fan of either, but I can't see Shakur beating Teo after the pitiful performance versus the Electrician." Wow,
yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, but he made up for it with the Zepeda fight. So I mean, that was before that. He's talking about Padley. So he made up for it, but
well, thank you for all your comments as they're coming along. We'll try and get them out on the air as much as we can as we go along, Tom. So Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. It's happening. We'll be at the press conference on Wednesday, wherever it is in New York City. And we'll have more on this in the week or two to come. Tom, let's shift briefly.
That's a good point. I just realized he actually stopped the Electrician. He actually got the knockout versus the Electrician. I forgot to mention that. Thank you, Mr. Shelton. So
Shelton is being very nice to you tonight, isn't he?
And usually he's not, but so this is
very nice to you tonight. He's not fisting it up with you, which is good. Thank you, Shelton. He's a loyal supporter of this program and Tommy D Sports Talk and much more. Tom, let's shift briefly before we move on more that has some implications with Shakur and Teofimo and stuff like that. Then there's Teofimo in the training. We put that up. I want Joe Apatia is cruiserweight title defense also on the zone this weekend.
Opatia,
right.
Opatia, yeah, he's
and in my notes here, I made sure to put the pronunciation key right about his name because I never get that right among many others as well. But yeah, that could lead to Ramirez, Ben Benitez if he decides to go up to cruiserweight. But that's on the zone this weekend as well. But more so, let's get back to some implications of some things that follow with Shakur and Teofimo. In particular, I'm looking at in the mix, sort of, is Devin Haney, who's already said that he wanted to fight Teofimo, and Teofimo said, why should I? He's at 147. He doesn't have a title, but now he does have a title. That could change everything. Devin Haney, champion 147. Ryan Garcia without a title. Back and forth on X this past week. Haney still looking back about talking about Garcia and going back in time about failing the VADA testing 2 years ago that got him suspended, Garcia's suspension. And then, of course, Garcia there telling Haney it's all excuses. Ryan saying his father, Bill, is not Haney's real dad. I'm the real dad. Wow, Tom. They went back and forth, didn't they?
I'm kind of tired of the Ryan Garcia thing. I mean, I don't like the guy. The guy is just bad for the sport. And not just boxing, he's just bad for sports in general. He tested positive, that whole week of the fight, the lead up to the fight, before they actually got in the ring. He was acting a fool. He was in nightclubs acting, drinking, smoking, the illegal IVs. I mean, this guy is a piece of you-know-what, in my opinion. And look, with all that being said, he got suspended for about a year, right? They gave him an opportunity against Rolly that he did not deserve.
Right.
He lost that fight. He
lost to Ramiro.
And now he was supposed to have a rematch with Devin Haney. Supposedly that was in the contract. Fine. It didn't happen. And now look what happens. He come off injury, and now he's reinstated by the WBC to fight for their sanctioned body and fight for another title against Mario Barrios. Like, what other sport does this? Where even in tournaments, in chess tournaments or whatever, where does a guy all of a sudden get ranked to become and have an opportunity to fight for a world championship?
Well, you heard my opening, right? How I talked about how the sport is healthy in a lot of ways and very negative in others. And here's an example of it. So apropos to what I said, and when you're bringing up the point, emphasizing it a little more. Yeah. Ryan Garcia doesn't even have a title around him. He has no legacy. He's not won a major championship. And here we go. He's got a title fight against a guy he shouldn't be in the ring with.
He shouldn't. And I hope this is what I hope happens. I've been back and forth on this because I don't want Devin Haney to give this guy an opportunity. I don't think he deserves it, and I think that he might cheat again if he fights Devin Haney. But now I got a different outlook. I hope he gets beat up by Barrios. So, like, really bad, but still gets a BS win decision. Like, we've seen BS decision before, and gets the win. Therefore, he gets an opportunity against Devin, and I hope Devin beats him up and embarrasses him. And then
You know what?
Maybe he goes away, and that'll be the end of it.
And of course, Devin's father, Bill, who is the mouthpiece in all this, he keeps saying, "Got to fight, Mike. We got to fight again. We got to have that fight again." The question is, does Ryan Garcia want to fight him again? Because Devin Haney, as we saw last weekend, he looked awfully good in beating Brian Norman Jr. for the title.
He looked. I thought he looked phenomenal. I'm a little picky when it comes to every boxer, right? I always want a little bit more. I thought there were other spots that he could have done a little bit more in that fight. I thought he might have had opportunity to maybe stop Ryan early in that fight, because after he dropped him in that third, fourth round, he was, his line was like on a straight line. He was there to be hit. But I thought he looked phenomenal, and I just think I like Devin at this weight. At 147, I mean, maybe he could bring the prestige of 147 back, because 147 is not what it used to be.
No, it's become mediocre. Still got some names in there, but not like it was when you had Crawford and Spence and so many others. And who knows? Maybe Teofimo will go to 147, because Teofimo always looks to take over another division. And 147 now, Devin Haney has a title. So who knows? Maybe that's something to see.
He got Shakur Stevenson problems, though, now. So.
Yeah, we got to work on that first, right? All right, Tom, in the meantime, the Turk guy, Al-Sheikh, chairman of these sort of... Yeah, he's my guy, all right. He's praying. He's praying for me. They'll never go there to watch a fight. They don't belong there. He's denying reports, as you see, about finances low. That they're not where they were. There's a report out there, last couple of days, losing money. Of course, he's paying a lot of money to these fighters to go over there to fight in Saudi Arabia. Extraordinary purses. I mean, you're looking at Bud Crawford, 40, 50 million, blah, 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 Canelo Alvarez, so forth. Now, there's a report, but he says, the Turk guy, I'm not out of money. He says this, that 2026, the new year, there will be surprises, and I wouldn't be surprised that you're going to see eventually Benitez and Ramirez, all right, at light heavyweight title, Joshua and Tyson Fury, which has been talked about, could happen, Fury coming out of retirement, and so on. What are your thoughts briefly on this?
I mean, it sounds good. And as far as the what is this? The talking about his money and the funds are low. I don't believe it.
I don't either.
I think they got never-ending money, right? It's the best way to put it. I don't know the actual numbers. People talking about. I've heard like triple-digit billions. But at the end of the day, I'll just say never-ending money. I really do believe that they're taking over the sport, and I believe that not only he wants to take over boxing, I believe he wants to take over other sports as well. They want Saudi Arabia to be like the big capital of the world for the major sporting events. That I really do believe that. So with that being said, I don't know. I don't fully trust him as far as the sport of boxing, because I feel like there's some other things behind the scenes that they do. I don't like the people that he's hired to work with the ring. I mean, and it's going to sound like nitpicking, but let's see what happens. So this year I thought was a pretty good year. He has given us some good fights. But when you look at the cards, he's not making any money on any of these cards. No. Absolutely not.
No, I don't think he's making any money doing them over here in the States. That's why he wants to keep them in Saudi Arabia. Because he can get $60,000 per fight in the venues they have over there. And paying all those high purses to these profile fighters, many who don't perform for the money they're getting. I bring it up again. We all saw that on May 1st in Times Square. That was a dud, the whole card, and the way they did it.
And I agree with you, because we want to, for the money that they're making, we want to see a little bit more. And for the event, and they spend a lot of money on, like you said, on the fighters. That Times Square obviously was a freebie, right? The fighters make good money. It was a freebie for the people here in New York. People, I think they had to pay for was that pay-per-view? I believe it was pay-per-view.
It was its own pay-per-view. And they didn't perform. They didn't say it at all. They went in there just to get the money, and that was the prevailing attitude and opinion of many boxing observers and those who wanted to tune in to see the intriguement of Times Square. He lost a lot of money in New York on that show.
Oh, of course, he had to pay.
And I have report too, he lost a lot of money at Arthur Ashe, the tennis center in Queens. He lost the money there.
Yeah. They gave
all
those
right,
tickets away.
and
Yep.
all the other venues he might do in the States. That's why he wants to keep the fights in Saudi Arabia. That's why he was one of the guys, if not the main, that wanted Teofimo and Shakur in Saudi Arabia, his backyard, because he's going to make money there, not lose money.
Yeah.
But that report, whether it's true or not, I have been speculating about this for the longest time, about the Turk guy and his organization, the whole group there losing money. And yet, they're also doing WWE WrestleMania there next year, 2020 and 2027, 2 years, which is ridiculous.
insane.
That's another story. All right, Tom, let's turn our attention to Birmingham in the UK this past weekend, where Ben Whittaker, this guy, on the zone, stopped Benjamin Gavazzi in his matchroom boxing debut. The vicious first-round stoppage, a 28-year-old. The light heavyweight says he's ready for taking on all the contenders, and he's got a tremendous body shot. Let's see where this goes. He's mostly a UK fighter. Eddie Hearn says we're going to take him, showcase him here in the States. Did you catch any of this, Tom, over the weekend?
I mean, it was nothing really to catch. It was only one round. I mean, it was.
But what do you think of Whittaker? Have you observed Whittaker enough to say that he's this rising superstar in that division?
No, I don't think. I can't say that about him just yet, because I felt like the fight where it was a technical draw or whatever. I felt like he quit in that fight, and I felt like he was not as good in that fight as well. So it's still tough. He's got to fight. Some more, maybe a decent contender or something, and make me a believer. I mean, he looks good right now. He passes the eye test a little bit, and he is a little flashy. But when you go on the competition, you're not going to get away with doing those things. You know what I'm saying? So let's see.
That's it. And over the weekend, this past weekend, there's a new Pacquiao in town. The younger son of the 8th Division champ Manny Pacquiao, the Hall of Famer, Jamal, his son, got a draw in his first fight as a pro in California. Pac-Man said his son will advise his son what to do going down the line, and that would be strategy that he was talking about. And a very interesting word, strategy, coming out of Manny Pacquiao, because he always would say that prior to his fights and even after, as successful as he was as the first 8th Division champion in the sport. So his son debuted, what you say, a non-auspicious debut. Nothing really to talk about, but somebody to look at. The opponent was Brendan Lally. And how about this? Recently retired, the lightweight champion Vasily Lomachenko, the Hall of Famer, said this week his goal was always to be undisputed champion. And after the Haney fight, he didn't have a choice anymore. It was too long of a motivation to get back in to try and become undisputed. Your thoughts quickly on that, Tom?
I don't know with this guy. I really don't. I mean, I think Loma's a good fighter. I think he's a good boxer. But I just don't know. I don't think his heart is all the way into it. I think he wants out. I think the fact that he keeps questioning whether he should come back or not is not a good thing. So I really don't know what to think. It'd be nice to see him, but if he comes back, he's got to fight a top guy. Is he ready to fight a top guy after being out for so long? Because we're not going to accept him fighting a cupcake.
I think he's 38 years of age now. He achieved what he did starting his career later in life. Did what he had to do. Top Rank promoted him efficiently. They did a good job with him. There's no doubt about it. But undisputed is hard to do. And if he does decide to come back and try that, he's not going to succeed with that at all.
No.
That's
what I think too. I mean, listen,
and he's now got another role. He's involved with the Olympic boxing. But I don't think he's done. He might get an idea of coming back one more time and see where it goes. How many times again? As I always say, Tommy D.
Yeah.
Fighters retire, but they never retire. Right?
I think what he has to do, he's going to have to take a gamble, move up in weight. He's a little guy. He hasn't really done well at 135. But he hasn't done what people expected him to do, like he did maybe at 130 and lower. So I think he's got to fight. Maybe pick a fight 140 with one of the top guys and do something, and make a big upset. He'll be underdog to any of the top 140 champions, or even the top 140 contenders as well. He'll be an underdog.
They're much younger than him.
Yeah.
And he's got to come up the ladder if he wants to get anything, unless the way boxing is scripted or the way boxing is constructed, if you want to say, they decide otherwise and say, yeah, here's Lomachenko. Let's give him a title shot right away on his return. Yeah. We've seen that. We saw that with Manny Pacquiao after 4 years out of the ring at his age. We saw that this year. All right, Tom, like, comment, subscribe, everyone, to my channel, Rich Mancuso, if you like what you're hearing here for the first time. Also, Tommy D Sports Talk. Disturbing news. Did you see this? A couple of days ago, as Emperor's lost to Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. said he had to deal with issues. Well, now we know. He's in a hospital. We don't know the severity of his health issues, but that's pretty gloom to see, don't you think?
Yeah, think about it. It was all about money. Right, if the rivalry was there, he won the first fight, he made weight. He didn't look good after the fight either, But now doing it again the second time, he's a big guy. Trying to, went down in weight. And listen, your body can only take so much, So I don't know. He's going to really have to think about his career now.
No, I think we've seen the last. Yeah. I think we've seen the last of Chris Eubank Jr., but more of Conor Benn going to 147. But that was disturbing to see, disturbing news. And what does Shelton have to say right now about that?
He's talking about Lomachenko, and he says that he spent his prime beating up teenagers in the amateurs, which is true. He didn't come a pro until late in his career. So
late in his career, that's right. He was a gold medalist in the Olympic, whatever, and then Top Rank really propelled him. In fact, I've seen him fight Madison Square Garden more than once in his career. All right. Tom, heavyweight champ Alexander Usyk says he is not going to fight Tyson Fury right away. He's got his size set on Deontay Wilder, the former heavyweight champ. He says Wilder hasn't been a top heavyweight in the last 10 years. What would you think if? That's what Usyk says.
Wait, he said he's not been a top heavyweight?
He hasn't been a top heavyweight in the last 10 years. That's what he said. Oh. That's what Usyk said. Anyway, I find that to be an intriguing thing that came out this week. Usyk against Wilder. We haven't heard Deontay Wilder's comments about that. What do you make of a fight like that if it should happen in the new year?
Let's do it. I mean, in the 90s they were doing it, right? They were bringing, guys that were former champions and giving them opportunities. Right, and making intriguing fights. Maybe Usyk feels like when he was coming up at cruiserweight and he even started as heavyweight. Maybe he feels like the champions, all the champions he got an opportunity to fight against, except was Deontay Wilder. He got to fight Joshua, he got to fight Fury, and maybe he feels like he wants to fight Wilder as well. I mean, I don't know what's in his mind, but I'm for it. I would, it's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight. I mean, on paper it says Usyk should win and outbox him, but if Deontay hits him, he's got more power than Fury and Joshua. So,
and I'm hearing that Tyson Fury definitely back doing some training, which means he's going to make another return, and they'll make the fight with him and Joshua eventually. But Usyk Fury again? No, that's not happening. But we could probably see Usyk and Wilder in the new year at some point, depending on where Usyk wants to go with all this, because he has talked about hanging it up as well and saying that's enough. I've achieved what I had to achieve in this sport as a heavyweight champ. Where else can he go? So that remains to be determined. But this comes up, and this is what I call disturbing as well for the sport. Negativity, which we don't need. At the WBC convention in Thailand over the weekend, not only did Soleimine, the head of WBC, say who would come after this, Terrence Crawford was stripped of his WBC title, so 168, no longer undisputed, because he says Crawford did not pay the $300,000 in sanctioning fees, and he also didn't pay the sanctioning fees that are up there in money, 6% of it of the Canelo fight where he won all the titles. Mm-hmm. But Crawford now is livid. He said, take your belt, almost said, throw it in the garbage. I don't want it anyway. That WBC green belt, WBC title green belt, means nothing to the sport. I dispute that. To me, that's the most reputable one of them all. And, Maurice Suleiman says that apparently Crawford is disrespecting the WBC by doing that, and he has. But, Tom, sanctioning groups and the fees, that's how the sport has been revolving over the last 2 decades or more, even more than that. But it leads to a lot of issues. And it leads to this point. Terrence Crawford, first of all, to me, is wrong. The fees, much too much, even though he made $50 million on the Canelo fight. Yes, let's say $300,000 in sanctioning fees for a fight like that, where they dictate who you're going to get, the organizations, including WBC. Crawford's wrong by disrespecting that title. Suleiman is wrong by stripping him a title that Crawford duly earned by defeating the undisputed Canelo Alvarez, okay? But it leads to this, Tom, and I want your thoughts. Zuffa Boxing, the new group with the new league, with the Turk guy out and even Dana White, they say that they want to give one belt to one champion, all right? They say this is their attempt, and obviously to take away, get rid of these various alphabet soup sanctioning organizations. I think there are too many boxing sanctioning organizations. Why I call them alphabet soup. Why fans are confused who the champion is in each division. Sanctioning fees dictate if a fighter is going to get a title shot or move up in the ranks. So, I can't dispute Terrence Crawford's claim about what's going on with the fees, yet Zuffa Boxing now has some ammunition more now to say, we are the ones that are going to get this right. Your thoughts?
I think, the WBC, Suleiman, I got so many things negative to say about Suleiman. And I spoke about it in the past about those things, but we'll focus on this. I think Suleiman is wrong. We've seen guys, not pay the sanctioning fees and drop titles before. And Suleiman's never, ever gone publicly and said anything about it. Why now all of a sudden? And I feel like he feels a little bit threatened by Turkey and the ring because that's what they want to do. They want to get rid of the sanctioning bodies. So what I truly feel, and we'll never know this, I truly feel, because if you look up the rules and the bylaws or whatever you want to call them, a WBC, it says that it's 3% of the purse, but it's capped at $300,000. What I truly believe, because of Mauricio's statement, I think Mauricio kind of snitched on himself, so to speak, where he says you made $50 million. Like it's nobody's business for anybody for him to come out and announce the guy's purse or how much he made. And I believe that Suleiman probably asked for more. He didn't ask for $300,000. And then when Bud responded, he kind of said he already paid 100-something K, and now he wants $300,000. I believe that Suleiman wanted to get more out of him, and I think because Bud said no, I'm not paying you, he wanted to be first to the public to kind of let it out to make Bud look bad by stating that and saying, oh, we only asked for $300,000, and then the Bud did. So I think like it's gamemanship amongst fighter and the sanctioning president, but I think Suleiman is 100% wrong, and I feel like he makes himself look bad. Listen, I understand, it's a nonprofit organization, and in some of the funds, or maybe there's a percentage of the funds go to help programs helping fighters. What programs? I don't know. I don't know who's he helping and what.
No, we don't know. They don't open up the books to tell us. Yeah. We really don't. Good point.
But I think the greed of silly man is what I call him, and what a lot of people call him is getting a little bit exposed. And Bud didn't drop any of the other titles that we know of, right? So he obviously had to pay the sanctioning fees, most likely to the WBO and the IBF and the WBA. Well, the WBA, I don't know. Let's just say for now WBA, right? Because he's still the champion with those sanctioning bodies. So why the WBC? So I just feel like Suleiman got caught with his hands in the cookie jar, and that's that. That's what I truly believe.
Well, it gives ammunition for Zuffa, the Turk guy, and them to go with their new league. One time, this is their claim. They want one champion, that in each division, one title belt, whether it be the ring or whatever it is. Whether they succeed in that, I don't know. They're trying to overturn the Muhammad Ali Boxing Act, which I disagree with. There's been a lot of safety and there's for fighters and everything else with that act. To overturn that, the California State Athletic Commission agrees with Zuffer and the Turkey and them to do that. Others have not commented yet. I don't know how far that's going to go. But another thing came out of the WBC convention. By the way, we don't know what Terrence Crawford's next move is either, as we're talking about him.
Yeah.
WBC at the convention also advocating, which I believe is this, I don't disagree with them at all. Same day weigh-ins for the fighters. How many times do you hear me saying that?
Yeah.
That's how they did it in the old day. Because of safety, hydration issues, and so forth, I'm totally in agreement with that. How they can institute that and get that done, whether it's just with WBC championship fights or whatever, I don't know. But, Tom, I'm all for that. Safety of the fighter. I see too many fighters that can't hydrate properly after weigh-ins, and they right away, they don't. First of all, the major point I got with this, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times or more, and everyone knows how I feel about it, old school Rich. Fighters never come in at their weight anyway when they get in the ring fight night.
Mm-hmm.
They're always 10 pounds heavy or even more. So what's the difference if you weigh them in the day before or the same day?
I'm yes and no with this. I'm yes with it because we want the fair fights. We want them to make weight, but it also will force these fighters to fight at their natural weights or close to it, and it'll force these fighters to be more disciplined about their lives outside of boxing, right? So, like, if you have your fight, and then let's say 4 or 5 months later you have another fight, like in between, it keeps fighters more disciplined all year long. So I'm with that. What I'm against is that you're forcing these fighters, who are looking to make money in a sport, to make weight and then fight that same day. So, like, if they had a bad camp for whatever reason, because sometimes you can have a bad camp, and sometimes the weight it's hard to get off, and you struggle. It'll make them extremely weak the day of the fight, and
exactly
careers. So
are you for it? In other words, are you for same day weigh-ins like I am?
I don't think I am. I like I said, I do like it. Like I said, it'll keep fighters more disciplined, and you'll get more fighters fighting at their natural weights. But I just think in this day and age, it's enough pressure that these fighters face getting into the ring. So I'm a little bit against it as well. I don't know. I got to come back to this. It's tough. I like what the IBF does. I think what the IBF does is pretty fair, where you have the weigh in, and then the next day, you got 10-pound limit, dehydration limit. So,
Tom, you know what? Why don't I anoint you to be the National Boxing Commissioner? Your points are very, very true.
Yeah, I mean, like with me, I want to be fair, and I want to look at both sides. Like that's always been my thing. I like to see both sides and just compare. I don't want to.
Well, in boxing, you need to hear both sides.
Yeah,
as I always say. So, all right, you talk about weigh-ins and stuff. We'll get to this now as we segue into this weekend, because there's a major fight card, PBC, Amazon. You have to pay for that as well, also on payperview.com. But in San Antonio, Texas, 8 p.m. Eastern, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach off his draw with Gervonta Davis. The winner could face, or could have a WBC title holder, Cyril Matias, who fights Dalton Smith at Barclays Center on January 10th in New York City. Roach is the WBA junior lightweight titleist, I think. He's got so many tabs on him. His second fight, though, above 130. And he's moving to 140. Tom, what do you make of this fight? Do we have an image of them up there? Do we have an image of the two of them?
We're going to go to this one.
We're going to go to that one in a moment. That's a totally different story.
Okay, because that's why I put the comment on the screen.
What do you think of Cruz and Roach? Roach doesn't get Gervonta again, but now he's got Pitbull Cruz. They made this fight a few months ago. Is this an interesting fight to look at as the main event Saturday on Amazon?
Oh, it's definitely interesting. These are good fighters. They're different types of fighters. You got a fighter in Pitbull Cruz, comes straight forward, throws shots, and keeps his guard up, keep his his hand, he's always on his phone, blocking punches and stuff. And then you got a good boxer in Lamont Roach who who a lot of people thought beat Tank Davis and was robbed. Well, or not robbed, but got the short end of the stick with the draw instead of getting the win. And it's a very intriguing fight because Lamont Roach, he's as good as a boxer he is. He's not really a mover. He'll be in the pocket. And you wonder how he's going to do against the hooks that Pitbull Cruz throws. But I think
we know that Cruz has a lot of power behind his punch. And we know what Lamont Roach did with Gervonta Davis. No one gave him a shot to at least go to a 12-round draw. But I'm gearing here towards Pitbull Cruz, who's on a winning streak and a rise like never been before. In all my years in boxing, this guy always does the unexpected. So I like Pitbull Cruz.
Hey, I mean, I like Pitbull Cruz. I think he's good, but I think he's also a dirty fighter as well. So he'll make this fight, kind of dirty as well. But I also like Lamont Roach, and I think his boxing, his ring IQ is up there, and I think he'll find ways to not get hit or hurt. And I like Roach to win comfortably here. I think it's going to be an ugly fight, but I think Roach wins this fight in a unanimous decision.
Wow. All right. I'm going to take you up on that, Tom, because I think Cruz will win it. You're going with Roach. What do you fight fans feel? Who do you think wins this main event Saturday night, San Antonio, Texas? Is it Pitbull Cruz or is it Lamont Roach? It's going to be a good one, though. Either way you look at it, I expect a good fight here. And also, this undercard is very, very interesting. There have been some changes, including Erislandy Lara's, the oldest champion in boxing out of Cuba, now defending the WBA middleweight title he has versus the new opponent, Johan Gonzalez, who replaces Janabak, who failed a VADA anti-doping test. Hearing that again, Tom. But now Lara has Gonzalez, and I think Lara wins this. Gonzalez, the late opponent, and Lara is on this streak as well, the oldest champion in the sport.
42 years old that we know of, and I like Lara, and it's unfortunate that Janabak, got caught with what he caught with, and he's going to be fighting an opponent that's it's actually a friend of his. I think they sparred before. Johan Gonzalez, I believe his name is.
It's a friendly fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a friendly fight.
And
as much as it lasts. I feel like
it's gotta be, Tom. I'm getting disgusted with the VADA testing and all the negative results. And of course, Jabarbek's camp, they're looking to contest this, that he can't fight with this B sample, whatever they do. VADA testing to me is good for the sport. And if fighters can't obey it, and if fighters are going to do things illegally, they say they don't, well, then they got to go into this more into perspective. What's safe to take, what's not. And that's something also that was addressed at the WBC convention in Thailand the last few days. What is considered a B sample? What is considered that you can take and not take? And these fighters have to be, I believe, Tom, educated more on what they can and cannot take, so that they don't come out with a negative test that causes disruption in the fights of who they're going to fight.
I agree with that, but I also agree with that we need to be educated more as the science and how they dictate what's legal and what's not legal, what's the right amount of limit or levels that you can and cannot take, and how does these protocols work, and what is VADA doing? Are they following proper protocols? Because I don't believe VADA follows their own protocols, and that's something that people need to look at and really keep an eye out for, because we got two separate cases that happened. I don't want to get too much in detail, but Janabak, his test popped dirty in November 15th or 14th.
Right.
That's a few weeks ago. But we're hearing about it now. Meaning, in my opinion, what happened is that's this opponent that they got for him, he got the call within that week, because they already knew. And I guess, Janabak is still working on his case. They're going to go to the B sample, and still the investigation is going. But the Subriel Mitia situation happened much earlier in the fight. It happened the second test, and they already leaked it right away. And that's all I'm going to leave about that, because that's not proper protocol. So that leads me to believe that something is going on. But I'll get into that in a separate video because that's a lot to talk about. But
yeah, we got to analyze this more. We're doing a separate segment on that and maybe we can get an athletic commission authority or someone in on this more than we are to analyze this more because it's becoming a constant issue now more and more. And we saw a lot of this year as well. What do we got a comment there from 990 Boxing?
No, 903 Boxing. So basically,
903?
He's got a few comments. He says Cruz might stop Roach. Think Cruz defense will hold up with the wild shots. And then we got Yes Indeed Boxing. Shout out to Shawa. She says Cruz may quit seeing as how it looks like his right bicep is separating. Wow.
Interesting. We'll see
and
that.
Then he said, man, I don't think Roach's defense will hold up against those wild shots. Cruz throw think he's gonna. So he thinks like you. He thinks Pitbull Cruz is gonna beat Roach and stop him maybe. So.
Well, thank you, 903 Boxing. Appreciate your support and comments, and everyone else who's commenting as we go along. Tom, this PBC card on Prime Saturday night and payperview.com. It's pretty good. And it's intriguing. I like this fight that's on the card. Before we go into the other change of a main event, Jesus Ramos for the interim world middleweight title, 12 rounds, and he's got Shane Mosley Jr. Who's 22-4, the son of the Hall of Famer Shane Mosley, and who's really been propelled in the last year quickly. But you gotta like Ramos. You know what I like Ramos Jr. He's smart, real smart fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Not only defensively, but I like the way he sets up for the punch, and he does it really well. So, what are your thoughts briefly on that fight, which is a good one on this card?
I think it's very intriguing. I think Mosley has gotten better. He's on a big winning streak, and I think he boxes well. But I don't know if he's going to take the overwhelming, punches that Ramos throws. Ramos' has been on a little streak after the loss to Lubin in a fight that I thought Ramos won. But at the end of the day, in that fight, he let his foot off the gas in the last few rounds of that fight, letting Lubin back in. So he can't do that here against Mosley. So. I think Ramos wins. I think he wins a unanimous decision. Mosley's a tough kid, and I think he'll be competitive early on in the fight. But I think Ramos is going to be at the end of the day too much for him.
And there you go again. It's for an interim WBC middleweight title.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do we hear that word interim? I'm tired of that too. Again, go back to Zuffa and all them. One champion. It's just too much. You can't keep track. Interim. What does an interim champion mean? Waiting to get the major title on his waist?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's more sanctioning fees that somebody has to pay to the sanctioning bodies. That's more money.
I'm the interim Rich Mancuso, the other interim Tommy D. All right.
We got other people agreeing. They saying Ramos. They think Ramos will win and possibly stop.
Yeah, it's a good card that you get the Amazon and then the undercard, a lot of other fights on free on their YouTube channel, PBC Fight Night, so catch it there. Payperview.com, by the way, as well. But there's the change here with Stephen Fulton Jr. and O'Shaquie Foster. Here we go again. We're talking about controversy, right?
This sucks.
Overweight. Fulton. Foster's been the champ since 2023. After numerous postponements of this fight, we finally have it. And now we have a thing here for the title that's not up for grabs.
Yeah,
okay.
It's only up for grabs pretty much for Roach. If Roach wins, he keeps it. If he loses, it becomes vacant. And, this stinks because, I like both fighters. I've met both fighters. I spoke with both fighters. Both fighters are very humble individuals, very good guys, nice guys. They, what Shakur Foster did the last time he was here, he went to visit a couple of schools and gave out sneakers and stuff. Real nice guy, and same as Cool Boy. But Cool Boy has a habit of ballooning up in weight between fights. That's just something, and he's not disciplined enough. And now it's caught up to him. He's moving up in weight. And this, like you said, this fight has been delayed
twice.
A couple of times.
Supposed to fight on the Fedora card.
And he looks
right?
chubby.
And these are two talented fighters in a weight class that's very interesting. or weight classes, but two different things here. But now we have, once again, guy wins, does what? Just clarify again what's gone on here in the last day based out of the weights. Who's get the title, who doesn't get the title, who wins, or whatever.
Yeah. It's bad. It's unprofessional by Cool Boy, and it's disappointing, and I don't know. I mean, I picked O'Shaquie Foster to win by unanimous decision. I think he might stop Cool Boy in this fight. He does. At the weigh-in, he didn't look good. He looked like he had a stomach like mine. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think O'Shaquie Foster. I would hope he takes advantage and gets a stoppage here.
And Fulton was seeking a title in the third weight class as well, which is a big magnitude in boxing for a fighter.
I believe he would have been the first guy out of Philadelphia to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, again, weigh the fighters on the same day. Stop with this nonsense of weights. I'm going to go back to that. Matchroom Boxing announces the IBF lightweight title on the line. Champion Raymond Muratella, Andy Cruz, who's not a young Andy Cruz. He's in his 30s. He's undefeated. Las Vegas, Nevada, on the Zone, Saturday, January 24th. And again, Tom, we're going to go back to, before we do the fact of the week, me and you. What's come out of our discussion in the last hour, Terrence Crawford getting stripped of the WBC title, and WBC advocating same-day weigh-ins, okay? Again, this is one of the reasons why boxing never gets the deserved attention that it should get, because we're always in the midst of controversy. And when you have a champion and a name like Terrence Bud Crawford, who won the undisputed titles of 168 from the legend Canelo Alvarez, and now he's stripped of one of those titles, one of the major titles that he held, you got to wonder, when does it stop, and why does it happen? And my old answer is to that, what it is, all about the money. And in this case, it was again, and here we go. So, a lot going on as we wind down a year in boxing that I thought was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a great year of boxing. We've seen some very intriguing fights, some good fights. I mean, we've seen some history too as well. I mean, Bud Crawford is one of those guys. He undisputed in 3 division weight classes. He beat Canelo in a fight that, I mean, it was 50-50. I mean, a lot of people thought Canelo would win, that Bud couldn't handle the power. But then a lot of people thought that Bud was just the better fighter and better boxer. And, I thought Bud won very convincingly, unlike what the judges had it. And, we see some things, and it's very unfortunate when you have the business of boxing or the politics of boxing kind of ruin what these athletes are doing. And it's just, it's disappointing. But it's our job, Rich, to keep uplifting and bringing up the sport and bringing up these fighters as well.
We're trying, but I'm tired of the controversy. And at my age, I don't want controversy no more.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Some down to that. All right, Tom, a big, interesting first hour of talk just with me and you. We don't have a guest tonight because there's so much going on. As boxing calendar is winding down for this year of 2025. Are you ready, my friend, for the fact of the week?
Oh, let's go. I've been doing bad on these in the last couple ones. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you get this one either, but we'll try. Put it up. We don't have music for it yet, or a tune, but that's okay. Me and you, fact of the week, Tom.
Chat, please let the chat. You can try to get this as well. I'll look at the comments to help.
Yeah, and realize that these are crazy facts, but I come up with them every week, not trivia. Here we go. Boxing has a best brother combinations. Brothers, the Klitschko's heavyweight champions. Terry and Arlen Norris. I'm bringing those up from the past. You had the mid '90s, which was one of the. You had the brother combinations in the mid-'90s, number one in the world. These two brothers, though, were big punches in the mid-'90s. One of them was briefly the junior welterweight champ. Two brothers now. In the ring, same time, not against each other, fought different guys, but one of them was a big puncher and briefly the junior welterweight champ in the mid-'90s.
The mid-'90s, brothers.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat, help me out.
This is not easy.
I feel like I should know this. You said the mid-90s, and he was
mid-90s. Yeah,
junior welterweight champion. So that means only one of the brothers were champions. Not
right. And he was briefly a junior welterweight champ. He was a big puncher as well. But these two brothers.
I was gonna say no, Darrell. No, Darrell.
I think the NYPD is trying to get the answer. I hear them in the background.
Well, this is I feel like I should know this though.
I know it because it's in front of me and I come up with it.
But I feel like I should know this. Junior welterweight, mid-90s. Let me just think.
I'm going to give you a few seconds if you need a quick hint. If not, we're late. We got to take a long break.
Okay. Nobody in the chat. I was giving the chat an opportunity.
They probably don't know either unless they're Googling it.
That's messed up, Rich. You're killing the chat's integrity right here.
No, people do that.
Yeah.
And I don't give away money or a prize.
Yeah. And so we can look kind of smart, right? I give up. I can't. I'm just going to throw out a name, and I already said I'll say Cunningham. I don't think the Cunningham's good.
No. Right? But you got the light. You got the we have our guest. I think our guest is in waiting there.
Yeah. He just popped up.
All right, so we got to take a break before we get him.
Commercial. Okay.
But first, let me give the answer to the fact of the week, and starts with a C. You had one of it, your Cunningham. Instead, it was Donald and Bruce Curry. Remember that?
Curry. Oh, that's right. I see. I knew I was supposed to know this.
Yeah, you're supposed to know it.
That. I bet you our guest would have known that. Our guest would have known
that. Yeah, well, I would have gave it to him, but we'll get him another fact if it comes on another time. That's a fact of the week of this week. No sponsor with it yet. We're working on it, but we do have some sponsors for the show. Keep It in the Ring, Rich Mancuso, Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Live on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. My social media at the bottom of the handle. We'll take this time out, brief, come back with our guest, and then do the pro wrestling right after that. I'm Rich. This is Tom. Keep It in the Ring. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
We're back.
Yes, we're back, and there'll be a new opening and such coming soon in the new year at Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Welcome in. Without any further ado, he's been waiting patiently, and we're bringing him in. His name is Ishay Smith. Is that how I pronounce his first name?
Former IBF junior welterweight champion.
Right, and I remember him.
29 and 11.
I get his first name wrong. It's because I get everybody's name wrong. Bring him in, Tom. Let's bring him in.
Well, before I bring up, he trolls me every week. If my quarterback for the Seahawks plays bad, he lets me have him. He's terrible. He's terrible. Well, my guy, Ishay Smith.
At least your Seahawks have been.
Which is every week, man. He plays bad every week.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about my Cardinals in Arizona? I got to complain.
You got a midget playing for you.
Well, the quarterback and the wide receiver are done for the year. Explains everything. All right. So, Smith was a fighter who competed from 2000 to 2019, held the IBF junior middleweight title in 2013, and according to what I remember and what I know, he was the first fighter from Las Vegas to become a professional world champion. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
I don't remember that, but I do remember the name, and I never covered your fights up front, but how are you? Welcome to the program.
Oh, I'm doing good, man.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
I'm in the public sector now. A lot of those
Mm-hmm.
fighters, you can't make the same money, so I went into the public, the job force, which is a good thing because I have health insurance and benefits now,
Which you didn't have as a fighter, for sure.
which you don't have as a fighter. You don't have it no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears you
Yeah.
give to the
And
game.
that's a shame. That's a
You get
real
20
shame.
years to the game, you make promoters thousands and millions of dollars, and you don't have nothing when you retire.
And you also were the first season of the reality TV show The Contender
Yes,
in
correct.
2005. And I remember that. I wasn't a big fan of the show, but I did catch some episodes of that. How was that experience?
It was a good experience. I mean, I couldn't complain at that time. Social media hadn't exploded, so we were coming on TV in 10, 13 million households every week. So that was a good time. People still to this day recognize me from that show, and that's crazy that it's 20 years old, man, over 20 years, and still getting recognized from that show. Tell you the impact that it had on people.
Well, Sergio Mora became a star out of there, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he won it. Became a world
Mm-hmm.
champion too, and
Mm.
yeah, he's doing well for himself. He's commentating now, I think, for DAZN and those fights. So he's
Yeah,
doing
he's
well for
big.
himself.
All right, so you're in the private sector now, but I'm sure, and you were a former world champion. Congratulations for being a champion and representing the sport well. What do you think of the sport right now, the state of the sport?
Um, I think I'm happy I came up in the age where fighters weren't getting paid a lot of money. So in that aspect, I'm very happy that fighters are getting their just due and they're making a lot of money and the big fights are being made. The problem is how long is that going to last? Because if Turkey was to drop out today and say I'm done with boxing, where does that leave everybody else? What happens? There's no Showtime anymore. There's no HBO no more. There's no ESPN no more. So if he was to drop out and say I'm done. I don't want to spend no more money in boxing. Where do we go from here? And it seems like I hate to say it, but this just seems to be a dying sport. That just all the years, all the the bad decisions, the bad judging. We've turned sponsors away. So I don't know. I think it's at a good place right now because he's involved and he's made a lot of big fights.
The
He's doing a
sport,
lot of things.
yeah, as I said in the opening, and Tom, feel free to interject any time here. The sport, as I said in the opening, and I've been saying in the first hour, financially very healthy. Okay, disorganization, controversy, all that stuff drives people away, and we don't have the fans that we want to have getting them all in. But as far as being a healthy sport, it is financially. There's no argument about that. And you bring up a good point that if the Turk guy falls out of this, then we're all in trouble.
Yeah, he's the driving force.
Hmm.
He's the driving force. I think everybody got it wrong. I think at some point you have to, if you're PBC, you have to look in the mirror. If you're De La Hoya, you have to look in the mirror, and if you're Bob Arum, you have to look in the mirror, and because they're the ones. Don King's been gone for a while now, so you have to look in the mirror because they got it wrong. The not making the big fights and
Hmm.
not making sure, not speaking out about bad judging,
Hmm.
not holding fighters accountable when they would, pop dirty for drugs. And De La Hoya's doing it now. He said a lot of negative things about Devin after the fight, but he himself was cheated a couple
Hmm.
times. When he fought Shane Mosley the second time, and
Yep.
when he fought Vargas. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I know Ryan is his fighter, but to speak on a fighter like Devin, who's been clean this whole time, it's just, and like I said, it's like you said, it's healthy now. But there was reports that this guy was talking about dropping out, and
Yeah.
and he said those reports are untrue. But it just made me think, if he drops out, where do we go? Because in the States, boxing is shit in the States. It's nothing here anymore.
Yeah, there's more action in the UK every week.
Yeah.
The UK is dominating the sport right now. Right, Tom? Championship fights every weekend. Yeah.
Every weekend. And they're filling up arenas and stuff. And that's the thing, like what Ishe opened up with, he said, you had all these promoters, they had the opportunity to do the right thing. You had Golden Boy, you had Top Rank, Oscar and Aram, King is gone. You had these big time promoters, and there's other promoters as well in the country. They didn't do their part by the sport, and now you got a guy, pretty much an immigrant, right? I mean, it's coming over and he's taking everything over, and it just looks bad. It's a good thing, but it looks bad. He's making the country look bad too, because the people that represented the sport didn't do right by it.
But at some point, when does he close? And I said this last week, right? Like, I was talking to my wife and I said, this is garbage. And she said, well, what are you talking about? The fight? And I said, not the fight, but if I was fighting today and I fought today, I would have to go all the way over there. I would have to travel all the way over there.
Right.
I can't have my fans. I can't. I fought everywhere. I fought in California. I fought in New York.
That's come up. That's come up with the fighters too. They can't take.
All these places, and I'm like, you're fighting basically in a condensed setting. The only people I can bring is my family.
Yeah, because they won't pay for they won't pay for families to. No. In fact, they've also done this. They've restricted media. Not only there who can cover their fights, but here too in the States, they restrict. They don't want any negative publicity at all.
And then it's like fight week. It's like, I remember like how big fight weeks used to be, and going down and hanging out. Like, you can't. It just, we're missing something. And I'm happy the fighters are getting paid. But when he closes his, because he's got to be taking a loss. You're paying the fighters, it's just not enough money.
Yeah, we brought that up earlier. He's got to be.
I don't care how much money he has. People with money don't like losing money. That's eventually they cut it off. And
but they've got a truckloads of money over there that they don't seem to care.
People don't. I don't care how much money you have. You could be the Elon Musk. You could be the Jeff Bezos. You can be the richest people in the world. People with money do not like constantly losing money. At some point, he's going to cut the umbilical cord. And when he does,
do you see? Do you see an eventual end to this? Saudi Arabia and the Turkey?
Absolutely, it's going to end. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that from more than one person in the industry as well. I'm not surprised you're saying that.
Because at some point, like, it's not generating enough. Every event is a loss. I mean, you're paying the fighters too much. It is a loss. So how does it you can't sustain it under this model. You're losing.
Right.
You're in
Tom,
the red every time.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I agree. Tom, but not to cut you off. Tom, there's a comment that came up, and put that up and let him answer it.
Ishe, this is your question for you. It's a very interesting question. Ishe, do you think the big prize fights like Logan and Jake Paul versus established, current, or retired fighters are good or bad for boxing?
I think it's the sad state of where we are, where we can take a guy that has no amateur experience, no boxing experience. He had a different type of fan base. He does work hard. A guy like Jake Paul, he comes and he's making millions and millions and millions. This guy has made more money. He's probably made more money than most boxers. He's probably in the top 3% for making money. It gotta be. I think of the names off the top of my head, it's not a lot of fighters in the game today that's making more money than Jake Paul. He probably made more money than Crawford.
Yeah,
Really.
the only thing I like about him
crazy.
is the only thing I like about Jake Paul, he's not a true fighter to me, and he's ranked 14 by the WBA cruiserweight. But here's the thing:
you wonder why like a person like Crawford doesn't want to pay his fucking his fee.
Exactly. Good point.
Like, you do bullshit like that. How legit are you when you're ranking a guy like Jake Paul? You know how hard it is to get ranked?
Yeah, well, you know why they gave him the ranking? Because he gives.
I had to beat Randall
Bailey. Hold on. Go ahead, BJ. Say that again.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Randall Bailey to get ranked. I was not ranked. When I beat Randall Bailey, I broke in all the one. He was a 2-time world champion. I broke in all the 147-pound top 15, top 10 rankings. Before that, it was hard to get ranked. I was fighting killer after killer, showbox fight, this shit, to get ranked. And then you rank a guy like that just because of his popularity. It's a fucking sideshow.
It's only popularity. You're right on the money. You're talking my language right now, because when you fought, boxing was in a different zone. Totally different. You just brought up some valid points. This is Smith, former champion IBF, now 47 years of age, lives in Vegas, a welterweight, light middleweight as he was, 40 fights, 29-12, 11 losses, and deserved his opportunities the way boxing should do it now, and they don't. And back to Jake Paul again, because we're on that subject. The only thing I like about him, he's a proponent of female boxing. He's helped propel Amanda Serrano, a lot of the other females in the sport, puts money into youth as far as we know. And I know that because where I am in the Bronx, New York, he put a lot of money into the Kips Bay Boy Club operation here.
Okay.
That's the only thing I like about him. That's it.
You know what? Only thing I can say is this. The only thing I give him credit for is he brought it to, he got them paid. I will say that the women boxers are making more money, but let's give credit what credit is due. Women boxing did not start with Jake Paul.
No,
I knew John King was showcasing Christy Martin on all his pay-per-views back in the day. Everybody knew who Christy Martin was. Everybody knew the Goosens. I think had the one pretty girl that was married to the guy that played on the soap. What was her name? She might have been Mexican. What was her name?
I remember it. It was a little controversy.
I think she may have played. Yeah. She may have posed for Playboy back in the day. And she was on TV all the time. Lucia Riker was on TV. Layla Ali was on TV. So we gotta quit this narrative. Like, he's done so much for women's boxing. He got them paid. Oh, you know what? Turkey got the men's fighters paid. Thank God. The men are finally getting what we deserve. But let's not give him all the credit with the women, because I'm going to give credit what credit is due. DK used to put Christy on all the pay-per-views.
I remember.
She would be on there all the time. Everybody
I covered those fights. I remember it well.
Yeah, she was on all the time. Layla Ali came and busted on the scene. She was on TV all the time. So was the girl out of Texas that had one of them. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I can't think of her name.
Wolf. Ann Wolf.
Ann Wolf was on ESPN all the time. So we got to kill this narrative that this guy is just some fucking savior for boxing. That he's a savior. He's done so many great things. We don't.
No, he's not. He's not a savior.
He's getting them paid. But in today's market, the women should. He has nothing to do with Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa Shields is getting paid. She's getting paid like 7 figures. So we got to kill this nonsense that he's doing. He's so great. And what I would say is this: they're bad for boxing. If Anthony Joshua don't knock this clown out in 2 rounds, it's very bad for the game.
It's very bad.
So I'm hoping he's taking it serious. I'm hoping he's doing what he has to do. We cannot have this guy even remotely be competitive in the fight, because then it's just a sideshow. But I think we're on life support, man. And if Turkey was to pull that plug and say I'm done, where the hell do we go? There's no networks. There's no
many say that the sport's on a life support now.
It is. It's on life support.
You know, and it's because we really don't know who a champion is, and we don't know what's this, all the intricacies of boxing with all the divisions and all the titles. As a boxing guy, you are, Tom is, and I. There are times we have to look up who the champion is in each division.
It's going to be
out of hand.
It's bad because if he was to go, what happens is that all the fighters are going to be expecting a certain amount of money, and it's nowhere to be found, and then they're not going to want to fight. So you're going to get less fights.
A lot of them don't have. They don't have networks. There's no normal networks. All you have is the zone.
No, you have to pay. You have to pay to watch streaming networks.
There's no. Man, I came up in the time where it was Friday night fights. It was
Friday night fights. I love it. I love it.
US fights were on USA.
You had Tuesday night fights on USA.
It was,
and you had the networks at times, NBC, of course, ABC even before that. But now
it was on Saturdays, I think.
Now it's where the money is. It's all streaming. You know,
and you got to remember. I think a couple years. I think the last. I don't even know if the Olympics had boxing in the last Olympics. I think they had pulled it out or had something.
They did, but they didn't televise it much because there was talk up until a year ago. In fact, there was that they weren't going to have boxing competition because they were rebanding the International Organized Olympic Committee and the IBC that runs boxing. Now, I can tell you from experience because I worked 2 Olympics with boxing and how that organization is so damn corrupt. It's ridiculous. I saw it myself firsthand. Even with that 84 team that won all those championships in Los Angeles.
Well, everybody, Roy Jones got robbed big time. Holyfield got jobbed big time. I mean, the list, but when it comes down to it, I'll tell you what this is all. Eddie Hearn is going to be the biggest promoter in the game soon because it's not going to be no more boxing over here, and these fighters are going to have to go somewhere. He's the last one standing that actually has some type of platform that he can work with, and he'll be able to he has a good showing over there. It's just going to be it's life support, man. Top Rank lost their TV deal.
They don't have one.
They don't have one. So what do you do? And this takes me back years and years. This is all the precedent that they set for all these years. They just were greedy. They never put back into the game, never made the fight that were important to people. When PBC, they blocked everybody out. PBC should have gave us Earl Spence and Crawford years ago. And they didn't even, when they said the top welterweights in the game or one at a time, they didn't even put him on the screen.
Let me ask you this question. This was another topic Tom and I discussed briefly earlier. The WBC came up in their convention and advocated same-day weigh-ins for fighters. Do you like that idea?
No, I don't, because a fighter is typical. It's very hard to make weight. It really is for some fighters. You get down, you do your very best to get down, and you make weight. You got to give a fighter time to recuperate and recover. If you want to have, you want to do what the IBF does and say you can't come in over 10 pounds, I'm cool with that. I had the IBF belt, so I know what that is like. But this isn't the amateurs, man. Don't make me weigh in at 8 o'clock in the morning and then expect me to be heading to the getting ready to go to the dressing room in 6-7 hours later. That's ridiculous. Because if the fights come on at 7, 7 or 8 o'clock, starting in New York time, 5 o'clock in Vegas, that means I got to be at the arena 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
And you're just sitting around for hours.
You can't do that, man.
That's a good point.
The WBC doesn't. They don't give a shit. That guy that runs it now, I think his father passed.
The son.
He's a piece of shit. So I don't blame Crawford for doing. He's talking about Crawford was going to give me $300,000 and $225,000 was going to go to the fighter. Get the fuck out of here! Anybody believes that? Get the fuck out of here! So
I forgot.
You
I
gonna
forgot
put
to warn you, Rich.
225
He
No,
has
that's okay. It's become a common word today, and as professional as I am, I'll allow it because he's venting. You got to hear me when I'm not on the air. How much I use that word?
You wanna tell me that you're gonna take out of that 300,000 the fee that he paid, you're gonna take 225 and stick it in the retired fighters fund. Well, why are so many retired fighters not doing well?
Yeah.
Why are they not doing well?
Why do fighters not have? I know why. I want your perspective, Issei. Why do fighters not have health insurance or a pension, especially when they get out of this game that they give so much to? Why?
Because a lot of us come from situations. A lot of the fighters, I'm just gonna keep it real. A lot of the fighters are brown and black.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really come from areas that teach us money management. A lot of us didn't graduate high school. I did, but a lot of them didn't finish high school. Definitely didn't go to college. So when you come up like that and you get that money, it's not really being told to you. Like I said, I've learned more about money being in the public sector working than I ever known when I made fighting. And I tell people, dude, I would have to work here 20 years to make the kind of money I made in boxing. But
Yeah.
I know now from working the job and having a pension and a retirement, exactly I wish I would have known when I was fighting. Because if I was fighting, I would have been able to say, you know what, I could put this in this account, I could put this in this Roth account, I could put this and play with this money in the market. Nobody teaches us that. But who should be teaching us that? The fucking promoters who all know what to do with the money.
And they're not going to do that.
So what to do with the money. You don't think Bob Brown got his money all situated? So why wouldn't you have somebody teach or talk to somebody properly about money management?
So what do you advise a young fighter going into the game starting to make some money? How should they handle it the right way? Manager, promoter, themselves? What's your advice?
Well, you got to remember, if you get a manager, you want to make sure if you have a manager, you want to make sure that they're actually you want to get somebody that's going to do your job, to make sure they do their job. I would say get an advisor. If you go with the manager, make sure he's doing the job. Make sure it's not a long contract. Make sure you're not getting robbed with the percentage, because you got other people you got to pay. No matter what you set up, because I've had a manager, I've not had a manager, I've had an advisor, I've had it all. And what you want to do is every time you get paid, you want to put money away into an account that's going to accumulate money. Let it play a little bit, whether it's a Roth account that's playing in the market. You want to put money away and have good money management. And I guarantee you, if you just put it away and you don't touch it, say you pay your trainer, most trainers is 10%. Take 10% out of your purse and just stick it in that account and don't touch it. Because going out buying jewelry and cars and all this shit, how much do you need? Just take that money and put it away. And then I guarantee you, eventually, when that money starts growing, you fight 10, 15 years. If you just don't touch that money, you'll never have to work a day in your life. You'll be fine. But us fighters, we get the money and we pay everybody. And we got so much money, we could spend. Nobody teaches us how money management and how valuable it is and how easy it is to lose it.
You bring up great points. This is Smith, a former champion. This has been great, and we're going to have you on again, and we are going to talk on the side because you're very knowledgeable. I know that you're very healthy. You came out of your career healthy. You speak well, and you have a career post from boxing, which is great. How do fans reach you, Tom? Do you have any final thoughts or questions to him?
No, I mean, I want to give him some advice. Now you probably get it cheaper than in February. But get your Seahawks Super Bowl hat and Super Bowl jersey ready for them.
Darnold won't get you there. He will let you down. Time you will see. He sees
We'll
ghosts.
see. No, I agree. I'm just,
He said that.
Well, how are the fans out there? How are the fans reacting to the Raiders? Because they're horrible.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And are they
He's a Raider fan,
excited?
but he don't want to admit it. He turned on the Raiders.
Are they excited about the new baseball, about the A's coming there in a few years with the new stadium on the
I
strip?
think so. You know, if you're a local like me, these things you've never experienced happen. I was born and raised here, so having a football team, having a baseball team, it's all great. But it's made traffic just absolutely terrible.
So I should. I lived there. I lived there at the height, in my career. I'd lived there for a year or so. I want to go back. Do you advise it?
It's not bad. I mean, the cost of living is high everywhere now. The cost of living. It's not bad. It's hard. Vegas is just. There's no place like Vegas, man.
I know.
Vegas is Vegas.
I know.
It's like living in New York. It's hard to leave, man.
Yeah, and when there's boxing, there's boxing, but you got the
Right.
NFL, you got MLB, you got the NHL, you got college sports, you got everything there. So it is Sin City in a lot of ways, especially with boxing. This has been great. Issei Smith, the former IBF super welterweight champ. Go ahead, Tom.
One last thing, just so you know, Rich, Issei is a big baseball fan. And,
Yeah?
Rich covers the Yankees and Mets. He's at the stadium,
And other teams as well.
So he's a
What
big
team?
boxing guy.
Okay, let me guess.
Chicago
He's a
Cubs.
Dodger. Oh, you're a Cub fan.
Cub fan, big Cub fan.
Oh, good for you. You got some issues there. Who are you going to sign?
We were actually good this year. We actually,
Yeah, you were good, but you have my boy Pete. You have my boy Pete Crow Armstrong, the former Met prospect that traded away for Javier Baez. It didn't work out. Armstrong should still be a Met.
But Javier Baez did do us justice. I don't think we should have got away the boy that went to. I think he went to Phillies. I can't think of his name right now.
Schwarber.
Schwarber, my God,
Yeah.
I don't think we should have ever got away.
We're gonna see where he goes in free agency. That's a talk about discussion. Yeah, but the Cubs. I love Wrigley Field. I do.
Wrigley is great.
I love it there. I love Chicago. I love Wrigley Field. I haven't been there in a while, but I love talking to you as well. When you'll come back on the program, the invitation's open to you anytime. When we could do a whole hour with him, Tom. He's great.
Man,
Issei is great. Like I said, I speak to Issei every now and then. He trolls me. Like Issei has become a good friend, over the last year. So
I want him to troll me with.
Too.
I want him to troll me with my baseball stuff. That's for sure.
He will. He will.
All
If we
right.
would have got past the Brewers, I really believe we had the Dodgers number all season. I think we would have went to the World Series.
Yeah.
But I was
they
really
got
rooting- I
They
was
got
really
a couple
rooting
of
for,
pieces. They got a good manager in Craig Counsell. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They got a great
I was
manager.
I was rooting for the Jays, man. I was rooting for Vlad's son, and I was very hurt when they lost the game. But it was a great
All right.
series.
Final question, because I got to get going here and move on. Issei Smith, former world champion. Right now, top, a pound for pound, whatever. Who is your top fighter today? Who do you think belongs on top? Who's the top guy?
If I had the top guy, would be Usyk. The top fighter in
Okay,
the
a
world,
lot of
man.
people feel that way. Yeah, heavyweight
Yeah,
champ.
it's top
Yep.
fighter in the world, and I think number 2 would be Crawford. That's my
Okay.
one, and then number 3 would be the guy
In Japan,
in
no way?
Yeah, no way.
No way, yeah.
That would be my top 3 right there.
All right. Why
And
don't you
number
leave
4,
us a top 10?
Number 4, you can mix it up. You could put Shakur's great. There's some great fighters, but my top 3 would be those 3 for sure.
Briefly, Shakur. No, he doesn't have Haney in there yet. Briefly, Shakur Stevenson, or Teofimo Lopez. Who do you like?
That, sometimes Teofimo, he throws and doesn't think about what's coming back. And Shakur is a great counterpuncher. So if he's reckless like he was when he fought the guy that Haney beat twice and went to Australia to beat him,
Kambosos.
Kambosos. Yeah. If he fights him reckless like that, just trying to load up and not working behind nothing, it's going to be a very long night. So I could just see Shakur just pot shotting him and beating him up and not hit and not get hit. But No, I don't.
We
I
got
wouldn't
fans.
Have Haney in my, I wouldn't have Haney in my top 5.
Yeah, that's going to be a good
Wow,
fight with
okay.
Shakur and Teofimo. Tom,
No,
we got
not
fans
top,
here right now.
Not top 5. Top 5 pound for pound.
I want you to do this. I want you to send Tom your top 10. We'll put it on the program next time. Okay?
Yeah, you're crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
He's a 3-division world champion.
Yeah, but top 5?
Pound for pound, he's been a champion in 3 different weight classes. I think
top
he's earned
5.
it. Well,
He's
okay. I think Usyk comes down.
He's in the top 10, but 5, man, that's tough. 5?
Yeah, we have to.
5? That's a little high.
We'll go over this another time because it is debatable
Rich has
for
gotta
sure.
move on, but
I gotta
argue
move
about this
on.
later because I want to argue about this.
Yeah, but and Tom will definitely have him on the program again real soon. He's fantastic. Thanks for getting him.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, guys.
It's A. Smith. God bless. Happy holidays
God
to
bless,
you.
man. Happy. Get out
And,
the ring and go home, man. You was on the train the other day. Now you somebody on the train, man. Go home.
Who was on the train?
Me, because I used to have a background with the 6th train in South Avenue.
Well,
Man,
you can't.
the arena is empty. Go home, man. The wife will let you in. I promise. No
Well,
workouts,
no, because
workouts.
he's
Go
not
home,
on a
man.
train. It's what we call keep it in the ring every week here. That's what it
So
is.
you don't understand that. But,
All right. It's A.
thanks
Smith,
for
former world champion. My best. Again, happy holidays. Keep it in the
Happy
ring, my
holidays,
friend.
fellas. Thanks
We'll
for having
talk
me,
soon.
man.
God
All right.
bless. Thank you.
God bless, man.
Go Hawks.
Tom, you definitely have to get me his social media and all his other
I will.
info. It's fantastic. He touched
he's
on a
good.
lot of things. I agree with him on an awful lot, especially about Jake Paul. All right, Tom, here's what we're going to do. I got to take a brief break because I got to get up and stretch a minute with my bad back. And we're going to take another brief time out, come back, and we got pro wrestling and nostalgia coming up next on Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And keep your comments coming in, folks. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And it's Friday night edition of Keep It in the Ring with Rich Mancuso and Tommy D at TD Sports Talk. Thank you once again to String Punk Entertainment as well and Scott Churston for helping us along. And like, comment, and subscribe to their channel as well. Tom, where's the pizza commercial? I really miss it.
I just played it. I just put it. That was the last one I added.
I was up stretching. I did my half mile in between breaks. I had to do it. Okay, I missed it. That was great with A. Smith and a lot. We're going 2 hours tonight. Good, because we got a lot of content to go over. What else? What else?
On Friday night, so I merged it.
Yeah. Well, he's great. Thanks for bringing him on. Let's get to the pro wrestling stuff. There's a lot of that. And let's go over. Did you watch the Survivor Series?
Yes, I did. It was
All right.
it was okay.
Yeah, and the aftermath of the Survivor Series, very interesting. Yeah, they had over 40,000 in Petco Park in San Diego. It was very lively there. And they should do more of these shows in the States, not go to Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewels, and whatever, and all over the world. But they're an international company now. WWE, TKO, Endeavor, and Dana White, and all that involved, and Nick Khan, and all that, who talk very positive about their venture with ESPN and the route they're going. I tend to disagree. Ticket prices are too high. Not every fan can go anymore, and whatever, but they're still very, very popular and will continue to be. Pro wrestling is at a high. There's no doubt about it, with some deficiencies as well. We know that. But Survivor Series overall, I gave it a B. And we're heading towards WrestleMania season now in the Royal Rumble, and here's the big question. The Masked Man who interfered, got Braun Breaker to pin Cody Rhodes in the cage, War Games, the men's match, and all of a sudden this Masked Man turns up. Yeah, you're thinking it's Seth Rollins. He had similarities to him, but it's not. We've been able to confirm on social media, everybody just about said it, but I knew it right away. That's Austin Theory. He's the Masked Man. Does he become a part of the Vision and the stable? Well, Paul Heyman, the Oracle, Triple H, part of this, creative. They're not commenting if it was Austin Theory. Eventually it'll come out because that was the original plan. Austin Theory was going to be a part of the Vision. Seth Rollins hurt, opens the door. Drew McIntyre, probably not a part of this no more. Logan Paul, I thought would just be involved in this match. But it looks like Logan Paul, for the moment, is still going to be part of the Vision. But it's leading up to Braun Breaker. And it's leading up to Breaker and probably CM Punk. Or was it Braun Breaker and... Tom, back me up.
CM Punk.
Braun Breaker and Punk for the title at WrestleMania. Are
Yeah,
they going
that's
for the
what
first...
you
They're going to have the first tease of it, the first Raw of the new year on Netflix. And then out of this, Cody Rhodes, I think we got an image of Rhodes and Reigns shaking hands, but words afterwards.
Punk and Reigns.
Punk, right? And then Reigns, is it going to be Reigns and Rhodes maybe for WrestleMania?
I think I've heard that as well. So I don't think they know what they want to do yet.
No. There's a lot of rumors we still got months away to WrestleMania in April in Vegas, a 2-night affair. But a lot came out of the Survivor Series. I gave it a B overall. And that War Games men's match, disappointing. The women's match was much more interesting. But then we get this, and you saw Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom. Do you have that image? Yeah. So John Cena's last match is coming up a week from Saturday in Washington, D.C., final match, and he says it's not going to be all about him. He wants to give the young guys the chance to be propelled on that 2-hour special on Peacock. In the meantime, Liv Morgan, I can't stand her. I can't stand everything about her. Everything about her.
She's a great worker, too.
I can't stand her acting. I can't stand her.
I like Dom. Yeah. You don't like any of the guys I like. I like.
No. Well, that's what pro wrestling. That's what pro wrestling is about. But you know what, Tom? Liv Morgan will eventually turn on him because you got Raquel and who's the other one?
I just lost it, but I just had Parker.
No, the other female is part of Judgment Day.
Parker. Roxanne? No.
Roxanne Perez. Yeah, and that's going to lead. It's going to lead, and I think Liv will turn on them, go her own way, and eventually become their women's champion. But you got Rhea Ripley still involved in that, and Oscar and Kylie Sane and that whole bunch too. But I thought that was an interesting thing to see, the swerve. I thought for sure that Liv was going to slap Dom and turn on him. And
I thought so too. Yeah, I thought so too. So that was pretty cool.
And John Cena's last match, as we said, probably going to be Gunther. He's in the tournament at LA Knight tonight, SmackDown Live. I don't know what happened tonight. I haven't seen it.
Oh, wow. That's right. It's on now.
It's probably going to be Gunther. And that's probably going to be the last match anyway tonight on SmackDown. But for our wrestling fans out there, if you know it, give us the spoiler because we're not watching it. We're doing the show.
Yeah,
all right, what else we got? What else we got? There's a lot of rumors and talk in
Uso's-
WWE right now. Yes, Uso is going to turn heel.
He's gonna.
He's wrecked the place Monday night after his loss to LA Knight in the Cena tournament final or semifinal. And then he talks backstage about Roman Reigns was right. The titles don't belong to him. Indeed, they are. That's the cue. Expect fan favorite Jey Uso to turn heel soon, maybe as of next Monday night on Raw.
Yeah, this is interesting because he's a fan favorite. He might be one of the top guys as far as the favorites. He goes to the crowd. He's with the fans. He's got the kids doing the yeets, and very interesting they go in this route. I'm kind of surprised. I know they teased it before, but he's really over. He's really over as a fan favorite. So,
did you think? Did you? Who did you think the Masked Man was?
I thought it was Theory. I know. I people were saying they're teasing it that it's Rollins. Like they saw Rollins and Rollins. It's obviously not him. But yeah, I thought Theory. I didn't think anybody else at first when it was so fast. I thought it was going to be Rollins' wife. Why can't I get her name?
Becky Lynch.
I thought it was her, but then it wasn't because it was too big. But yeah, Austin Theory seems like the guy.
Lynch is disgusted because AJ Lee got rid of her in the women's match Survivor Series War Games, and that's going to lead more, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Yeah, leading probably to be a WrestleMania match. That's how they'll culminate it. That's how
they'll probably figure out to extend it somehow. Yeah, I think so.
But Survivor Series overall to me was a B. I thought it could have been a little better. I might be too nice to them giving it a B. Any other thoughts about what happened at Survivor Series in the aftermath, Tom?
I mean, I don't know if I'd give it a B, but it was pretty cool to see, WWE, they have this policy with blood and stuff. It was pretty good to see, a couple of spots where people were leaking a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool for War Games. I think it should always be like that. But I thought the match could have been better. I mean, it was fun in some sorts, but, doing the whole yeet thing in the middle of the match was kind of silly. And then, leading up to Brock cleaning house and all that. So, I mean, I thought it was okay at best. It's always cool when they have War Games. I always like War Games, since they had it back in WCW.
No, I don't like it. I'd rather have the traditional 5-on-5. But regardless, this is leading up to their next major PLE, and that's going to be Royal Rumble. And I believe that's in Saudi Arabia. Oh, no, not Saudi Arabia. Where is the Royal Rumble again?
I don't know. I know that's the big one in January, and it's usually a fan favorite.
I don't think it's in the States. I think it's somewhere else. I think. I gotta look it up again. Find out where it is.
Let me see. 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be a week. I think it's going
to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, right. Yep. And they do it prior to Super Bowl Sunday. Usually they do it a week before the Super Bowl. That's how they always did it, but not this time. Everything is changed
January
here.
31st, yeah. So that's a busy weekend. That's
yeah.
And then the next day is the Super Bowl. Wow.
No, the Super Bowl is not that early this year, is it?
Is it February 1st? It's usually the first week of
No, I think it's later than that. They moved it up.
Oh, okay.
They moved it up.
Probably the 8th.
Yeah, so that they'll have that weekend to their own unless the major fight interferes or something. But again, Survivor Series to me a B, leading to WrestleMania season, Royal Rumble next, and I do expect to see against Austin Theory a part of the division to be revealed. Is it over? What do you got a comment there? Is it a wrestling or boxing comment?
No, he's just saying, saluting to us. He says, "Peace, my guy." He's just saluting us here. So. And then,
thank you very much.
Yes, indeed, boxing with Jashawa. She says that I want bloodshed. Yeah, when it's a steel cage match, you want to see that. That's what the fans will see. Even if they're blading themselves or if it's fake blood, you want to see that.
Yeah, I know you're gonna see Chris Jericho back in WWE for the Royal Rumble.
Yes, that's my favorite.
That'll be the
he's not the same. He's not the same.
So. No. He's in his 50s. He's out of shape. Yeah, he'll be there. And speaking of you know what? Your favorite group AEW has got World's End. That's their next pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks. A local guy from New York, Eddie Kingston and Samoa Joe. That's next week for the title on Dynamite. They're giving away a match for free. Castelloni defeats Moxley last night, the Continental Classic tournament. Seems like John Moxley now is on the back burner of getting another title soon, and the Death Riders angle is slowly but surely disintegrating. They've done enough of that, enough bleeding and everything else with that. You know, I know you're a big yeah, go ahead.
I hate Moxley. I mean, I hate AEW. Speaking of Moxley, there was a rumor that it was Moxley that was in the mask. Too.
No, that wasn't him.
Yeah,
no.
But
you know what the thing is? Everyone thought it would be Seth Rollins because the frame was almost similar. Gave it away because that was Austin Theory's frame, and also the way he climbed and the curve stomp, the stomp.
Yeah,
that everyone said, "Oh, that was Rollins." No, Rollins is on the injury shelf.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of buzz about that. But again, I thought the Survivor Series could have been a little better, but got them going into the Royal Rumble and everything else they're doing. AEW, well, I don't know. It seems like Paramount, their Time Warner deal, I think, what came out? There was a new media venture, that could knock them out of the box because they're taking over Time Warner and Max.
Okay.
And that's AEW's deal. So I think AEW and Tony Khan might be on thin ice. They lose they lose everything. They got nowhere to go.
I don't watch the product. I don't watch it.
No.
I'm not a fan.
I know TNA signed a new deal, TV deal, with AMC. Or one of them. Then they're going to debut that in the new year. So they got a big deal on cable. And they're in line with WWE. So
yeah, they're partners.
That helps them out a lot. Yeah. All right, Tom, anything pro wrestling do you want to talk about? Because we're going to go into nostalgia.
I'm excited to see Chris Jericho in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. He's your favorite. Good luck. Maybe he'll take you on one of his Fonzie cruises.
Oh, those cruises? Yeah, did he do one this year?
No.
He didn't do it. Okay.
No, I forgot what the excuse was because he couldn't get the talent to be on the ship.
Okay. I know somebody that used to go on those cruises. He said it was pretty.
Really?
It was nice. They have the wrestling, the matches on the cruise. And
you couldn't get me to go on a cruise ship any day. I'm frightened with water.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that, but yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, here at Keep It in the Ring, Tommy D Sports Talk. My social media, X Ring 786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, String Punk Entertainment as well. And we're here to continue with nostalgia on Keep It in the Ring. This special Friday edition. We're usually live on Thursday night. Tom, let's get to the nostalgia. Got quite a few. Go back. I don't know what images you came up with. We have no videos on that, but we got December 4th, 1999, IBF Junior Middleweight Champ Fernando Vargas. He managed to get the majority decision 12 rounds over Winky Wright in Lincoln, Oregon, because we know Fernando Vargas, the champion, and his son. His son is a successful upcoming fighter right now. Right? Yeah, one of them, right?
Yeah.
All right, before we get to Winky, that's the one we had. There it is. That's the poster or whatever it came on.
That's all I could
back then. Yeah, that's all right. That was good. I remember Winky Wright was born also on my birthday, too, May 14th. So, of course, our favorite toward him because of that.
But in this fight was a very, very close fight. Mm-hmm. I thought Winky Wright won the fight, but he ended up. It was a majority decision draw, very close fight. One judge had it a draw, 114-114, and the other two judges had it 115-113, and another judge had it 116-112. So very, very close fight.
Yeah, I remember.
Harold Letterman had
the old fight judge
as well. He thought Wright won 115-113.
The late fight judge on HBO, and he'd go, Jim, or he'd go, Harold, how you got it? Fantastic boxing on HBO. We don't have it no more. We never see that again like that. All right, move on. December 5th, 1949, the champion Ike Williams, 15-round unanimous decision over Freddie Dawson at the Convention Hall in Philadelphia. His 8th and last successful defense of the World Lightweight title. He won that in 1945. Dawson was a top contender in the 1940s and 50s. Williams, the light heavyweight champ from 1945 to 1951. Two previous fights they had, January 28, 1946, went to a 10-round draw. Interesting. And then we got this one. And we couldn't get the video up on this. Restricted, of course. But go back. November 30th, 1952. Floyd Patterson becomes the youngest heavyweight champ in history at the age of 21. He wins the vacant title. 5th round KO over Archie Moore at Chicago Stadium. Right? Title was vacant because Rocky Marciano retired, the great Rock, at 49-0. The title that at age of 23, he became the youngest champ since Joe Louis had done that. Moore at 39 years of age, right? He had been the oldest heavyweight champ at the time. Tom, great images you came up with here. I've seen the fight on video. And when you look at these two fighters, Floyd Patterson from upstate New York, former commissioner, New York State Athletic Commission, more of a figurehead in that regard than being in charge of everything. But the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 21 at the time.
Years old. Yeah.
Of course, Mike Tyson got that distinction after that.
And I believe Mike Tyson fought his brother, or something like that in 1986 or something. It was something weird about that mark. No, his mark was broken. I'm reading that wrong. In 1986 by Mike Tyson. But Joe Louis had it before at 23, and then Patterson at 21. Interesting to note, Archie Moore was the 9-5 betting favorite in that fight, and the crowd was it was 14,000, and the gross gate was 228,000.
At that time, in 1952, that was a lot of money.
Yep, and each fighter got 30% of the $367,385.
And there was no controversy either.
Yeah.
No controversy, because Archie Moore was known as the Mongo Moose. And then I'm going to tell you, you got to look at some of his classic fights. They're all on YouTube, even with Floyd Patterson. This was boxing. This was in 1952. This is how it was. No controversy, clean fights, good decisions,
and another
great
fight
knockouts,
in a baseball stadium, I believe. This was in Chicago.
Yeah, this was in Chicago, at Chicago Stadium at the time it was called.
Yeah. That was where the White Sox played, I believe, right?
Right. Before they got to Comiskey Park.
Yes.
This title again was vacant because Rocky Marciano retired. Of course, The Rock lost his life much too young, Brockton, Massachusetts, with a plane crash. What are the comments coming up on this? What do we got?
Well, so it says Harold was happy to be there. Harold was always happy to be at the fights.
Yeah, that was his life.
Winky Wright was robbed in Jermaine Taylor fight in June 2006. I couldn't believe it was. They scored that's another fight. Winky Wright got jobbed in a couple of fights. So the Vargas fight, I thought he won as well. And yes, the Jermaine Taylor fight, I thought he won that fight as well. It's very good that you brought that up. Yeah, Winky Wright was solid. I mean, the only time I didn't like Winky Wright was when he beat up my boy Tito, because Tito was one of my favorite fighters. But that
was a great fight back then too. I remember that well. Yeah,
he schooled Tito in that fight.
Yeah. So, Tom, good nostalgia this week. More next time. We do this each and every week on the program. Hope we love doing this. Hope you do as well. And let's wrap this up. We've gone 2 hours tonight to keep it in the ring. I'm going to go back in the past again with this. Put it up.
Who's that?
Yep. A younger Rich Mancuso with the late, great, and my mentor, Burt Randolph.
Which one is you? There's Burt Sugar in the middle.
Well, here's the deal. I was getting honored that day in the early 1980s, Writer of the Year for the American Association of Improvement of Boxing, an organization established by the late Steve Acunto, who was also with the New York State Athletic Commission. A well-attended event at the Wright Town Hilton, Westchester County, New York. And Bert Sugar was on on the dais. He got an award that day as well. And I remember this real well. I pulled it out of the files, out of the annals.
Nice picture.
Bert, yeah, well, no, not of me.
You got hair.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, but not as much as Bert had. Bert always had his fedora on. The historian and the author and just a boxing guy, baseball as well. Bert was my mentor. Taught me a lot. Writing, the sport,
whatever.
His
mouth there too?
All the time, yeah.
All the time.
Never
Wow.
took it out of his mouth. Never lit it either.
Yeah.
But Bert had the fedora on, and I might have been one of the only ones to see him without that fedora on his head. We're on the road, the hotel room in Las Vegas. He's completely bald.
Okay.
That's
Wow,
it.
so
and nobody knew that. And I never spread the word. But that day, that award event, I wanted the world to know that he was bald. So there was a prop hat on the table, which I managed to grab, that Bert put together to put on me. I tried to take the fedora off. It didn't work.
Oh, man.
All right? But he managed to put that hat on my head before I got my Writer of the Year award. And, that was a funny moment in time with me. I thought it was a great, that was a great event. They used to put on give an award luncheon for Fighter of the Year and all that every year, the AAIB. And Bert Sugar was a big supporter of the organization, so there we are. And I tried to flip the switch, as they say, and get Bert to take that fedora off. We got a comment there. What does it say?
Yeah, she just has the eyes, so she can't believe what she's seeing right now.
Oh, you're seeing it now.
What year was this? So you got an award?
This
for
was
Writer of the Year?
1983, it might have been.
Okay.
83.
You have video of this.
Yeah, I got it. That's a good point. I got to do that. But that was a fun
That's
time.
awesome.
It was a great event. I got Writer of the Year. I have that plaque. I still hold it. I hang it up. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of that organization, what they did over the years. And of course, I miss Bert Brandel Sugar every day of my life. He was my mentor, and he meant so much to boxing. He's been gone over 14 years now. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe, anyway. All right, and then this. You have that?
Let me
My favorite ball player. Is he there? There he is. Fernando Tatis. By the way, read my columns on LatinoSports.com. I wrote about why I want him to be a New York Yankee. And there he is, off-season training on a beach somewhere in DR or wherever he is. And what is he doing? Right? He's hitting a boxing bag.
Yeah.
Now,
Fernando
which
Tatis.
leads me to believe that Fernando Tatis, one of the star premier athletes in baseball, and he is, let's face it. But me, I know him well. And so when he comes back and the season starts, I'm going to ask him. I sent this image to him because he put it out, and I didn't get a response yet. Are you into boxing? Because he never talks boxing with me.
Okay.
But you know what? He's young enough, still 26 years old. If he wants to get out of his bat of baseball when it's over, boy, he's never going to do that. He's making a lot of money.
It'd be crazy to do that.
But he's got a pretty good punch there on the bag, so I'm going to ask him. Are you a boxing fan? I never knew that, but I no doubt, ball players like to hit the punching bag. They do that. It's good technique, good training for them. But Tatis looks like a pro fighter right there, preparing for something.
I wonder if he follows the sport, and the Dominican
I've
Republic.
never asked him because when I'm with Fernando Tatis on the field, in the dugout, in the post game, in the locker rooms, I never ask him. We don't talk boxing. A lot of ball players know that I know. They know that I'm a boxing guy, so they'll ask me my opinion. But Tatis never does that. And Hagler, what does he say? Hagler was
a ball player.
Yeah. A lot of fighters flirt around with it, then realize they don't want to get punched in the head, but they'd rather get hit by a 95-mile fastball at the plate. Go figure. But there's Fernando Tatis with a box. I thought I'd show that and have a little fun with that, and I will talk to him about it. Yeah.
You got to ask him,
I am. And Tom, maybe you will as well if I could get you a credential during the next baseball season where I'm going to go back. I say I'm going to retire, but I got to go back.
To Yankee Stadium.
I'm baseball depressed right now. Even though we got a lot of boxing going on, but I'm very baseball depressed. You can imagine. Tom, that's about it. Any final thoughts? We had a great 2 hours tonight.
This was a good show. I like the Friday edition because usually I go on Friday nights. I may do something tomorrow. I was going to do something later, but I may do something tomorrow. I'm supposed to drop a video tomorrow, like I said, about Sabril Martinez. Now I'm thinking maybe I might go live about it and have a conversation about it and give my thoughts and let people.
Anytime you need me, I'm available for you. Let me know.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I might make it over this guy. I got to find a nice time.
And we'll be doing some shorts as promised. And next week's program is all yours if you want it. I right now I'm scheduled to do a college basketball game next Thursday night.
Okay.
I might even be going to the baseball winter meetings. I don't know yet. That's still tentative, and that means I'd have to come back on Thursday, which would interfere. Let's talk, check the social medias. If we're going to be Thursday Night Live or Friday or even pre-record. But Tom, I think you love hosting on your own. It'll be all yours if you want it.
You know what? We'll do next Friday, most likely. I think, a special shout out. I'm glad you did that because he was the guest I was trying to get on today, but he has a fight tomorrow. And I wanted to see if I could get it for 5 minutes before his fight tomorrow. Ofacio Falcone from the Bronx has a big fight tomorrow at 1:30. He'll be fighting on the LaManna card, Thomas LaManna card.
In Atlantic City,
see it on Millions. The app Millions, I think Millions.com.
Millions pay-per-view,
Yeah, so you can watch it there. Look out for that because after that fight, he's supposed to make a big announcement. So he promised me after the fight we could do an interview. So maybe next Friday we bring him on and he can make that announcement with us.
All right. Well, if you go Friday, then I might be able to join you. But so let's see. We'll talk about it. But we're here usually Thursday nights live, 8 p.m. Eastern. My YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please do that. And, of course, Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, String Punk Entertainment, our friend Scott Churston. Again, my social media handles, folks, xring786, facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. I'm on Instagram as well. And believe it or not, I'm on TikTok now as well. Why I did that, I don't know, but I'm there. Okay? So join in on the fun. Tommy D, always great job helping me put this together. My esteemed colleague, producer, co-host. And where do fans reach you?
Good. You can find me here on TD Sports Talk on YouTube. And obviously every Sundays I'm on Sports Byline TV and also on Twitch. Twitch-Sports Byline on 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And with Pedro Fernandez on Ring Talk Worldwide.
I'm going to go on Twitch, too. People have said to do that as well. I can't keep up with how many there are. And I don't need another one. I spend so much time on scanning this, scanning that. I don't know where I am sometimes or what I'm doing. Regardless, this was fun. Thanks again to Ismay Smith coming on as a late guest. Great insights from him. For all your comments, folks, really appreciate it. Again, check the social media. There'll be some YouTube shorts as well. And as always, as Tom and I always say, I want you to be well, be good to each other, and God bless. And as we always say, till next time, Tom.
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.